I guess just for the context for new listeners who aren't aware of like kind of what I do, I was very influenced by MF Doom in many ways. He's a true hero of mine, one of those artists that just speaks to you on such a level, right? So like when I wanted to start my quote unquote music career, right? Like and really just kind of dive in. I wanted to do it as an artist, right? As a performance artist, and um, I decided to kind of take on the vein of the anonymous masked guy, right?
Right.
I love comic books and I'm a superhero nerd and all that kind of stuff. So like I decided to make my artist the exaggeration of myself, right? So I like superheroes. I want to be, you aim to be the change you want to see in the world. So I decided to don a mask, but try and hide myself. All of my posts for the first 6 years of my career, it was I wouldn't show my face online, and I would go out of my way to like hide myself or like change in when I was out doing live sets, right? And I would still get found, but point is that I would put in the effort to try and remain this anonymity.
Mm.
Um, and you know, technically a combination of like life goals and career pursuits, but then most primarily what Mecca is referring to is the health incident that took place in last June of 2023 was long story made short. I had a lung collapse after 9 years of having six other lung collapses.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
unbeknownst to most people who even know me well or have been following me throughout my career, they would never have known that like from the age of 18 to 27, my lungs would go down and collapse on me like every year and a half. Right, it would go like right lung, left lung, and reason because I am tall, skinny, and beautiful, so they have to like there's like an
Sense of
issue with
humor,
that.
by the way.
Yeah, you got it right. I'm tall and skinny, and and it turns out I have abnormally large lungs. Right, so it takes two X-rays to actually get a picture of my lungs.
Oh.
And so pretty much the point is that that was the thing I had to deal with. I had gotten surgeries back in the day that were supposed to have like solved the issue. I didn't have a lung collapse for 9 years, right? And my entire career didn't have any lung issues. But as is the case with this particular lung challenge, that comes very spontaneously. Um, it happened again after 9 years, and it was a bad one. And then they did another major surgery on this on my right side of my lung, where this time they actually are snipping parts of my lung off, right? So in recovery and all that fun stuff, I just didn't know, like, trying to get back into finger drumming, like, things just kind of changed. And certainly when it came down to wearing a mask where this thing has no ventilation, right? It's like a straight cast,
Right.
Mhm.
right? And so breathing inside this thing is very difficult, and there's a lot of moisture. And it turns out that it was really just like highly recommended that it be something that I reconsider doing, right?
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
And or at the very least, you know, pursue having another mask made that does have a much more proper ventilation.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's a complicated matter because the mask at this point, as I'm maybe Mecca can attest to this, is like this is what Doc looks like. This
Yeah.
mask right here.
Yes.
Right.
Any
Right.
changes to the mask changes what he looks like,
Yeah.
right? And so creating a mask that has proper ventilation while still maintaining the integrity of the look
Mhm.
is a whole new challenge and certainly something that I don't have a budget for at the moment, right?
Right.
I hear that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not in this economy. Come on, guys.
But
Yeah.
but
Uh,
It's
so
amazing.
yeah, this was a great lucky investment because the guy who made this, very talented guy, that was the first music artist he ever made a mask for. So he hooked it up on the price. You know what I mean? Out of the
Right.
mm,
like, I don't really know what I'm doing kind of
Right.
thing. So we'll work the best
Oh,
out.
Yeah, and they excited to create something for you too, probably. You know what I'm saying?
So-
Yeah, right. It was like a whole new frontier for him. And so, but so since the lung collapse, and I'm still numb, like on this side of my body. I have like down here on my ribs. It gets a little annoying. And while I'm fine, like numbness isn't pain. It's just numbness,
Okay.
right? But doing half hour to hour long finger drumming routines with a mask on is something that now I needed to navigate how I'm going to do that in the future, kind of vibe.
Mm.
And so not wearing a mask then became a major component. So it's like, okay, do I reveal myself? How do I do this? And the reality in terms of career is that unlike the villain, rest in peace, my hero, him being a villain, my ironic hero, um, is that he sought out seclusion, right? And with the kind of work that I want to do as the superhero that I am, because I'm not a villain, you know what I mean? Like, it involves a lot more communication with the community. So how can I be anonymous and communicate with the community simultaneously? It's just a whole nother ballpark. So eventually people are going to have to find out who I am and how I roll and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And all they're going to find out is that I'm the same. And it like turns out Doc is me and I am Doc, kind of like on some I am Iron Man type,
There you
type
go.
stuff. And so sorry. And then, but like when it came down to, yeah, so it was like between career, coming down to the career, and then coming down to the taking care of my health and not trying to suffocate myself in the mask. The idea of, revealing myself and having it be more of a cohesive art brand, right? So Doc isn't going away as a design, as a concept, art, merch. I'm still the pursuits of a mask. So any mask makers hearing this, like, feel free to contact me and negotiate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there we go.
But like, as all that stuff doesn't go away, but it certainly does make for what is going to end up being a long-term career change in terms of how people get to see both Doc and me.
Right.
All right.
All right.
So I guess that's the long-winded answer of kind of like the health scenario and the career scenario that led to this reveal after the entire career was anonymity. And I know a lot of people were very kind of shocked by it, but the community was very loving about it. Not as I didn't. I mean, everyone was just like complimenting the fact that it's me that matters, not necessarily just Doc Brass as in the abstract,
Yeah, well, I would say this. The good thing is, it didn't affect your finger drumming, brother. So I mean, you still able. It didn't affect that.
Yeah, it only well, it did technically affect it insofar as like I definitely have to maneuver a little differently sometimes based off
Oh,
of
so
like
it okay.
how the ribs feel, and exhaustion is still a thing, but
Right.
due to my exploration and finger scratching and using the MPC to
Yeah.
also like imitate a turntable, it allows me to do like a blend of a show, right? And my approach that I am taking, not to spoil performances and how they will be in the future, but the idea is that initially I open up with beats and finger scratching and kind of show off some of that flair. And then I don the mask and do the finger drumming, right,
Okay.
for a shorter period of higher intensity kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and kind of combine these forces of both. So the finger drumming I can still obviously do. It's not like all of a sudden I can't do it, but there are some new norms that I have to work through and maybe just train back up,
Right. The main
So
thing
it hasn't
people
even
got.
been a year yet. So you never know. Like technically over the next couple of years, I can get my strength on this side and stamina back to what I had, a few years ago, kind of thing.
Right.
But it's still a beautiful experience, and like I take advantage of the opportunities and the challenge of like what's this life like with people who get to see the nerd under the mask. You know,